I know we mentioned it before, but I just want to just tip my hat off to that priest, Terry, Father Maury, who denied Holy Communion to Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
He did it as an act of charity.
Salvation
And I
of
just
soul.
want to just thank Father Robert Maury.
That's right.
A Catholic priest in South Carolina. He acted, Terry, like the Maccabean brothers. He acted like Mattathias in the Old Testament. That's all I wanted to
Jesse, more priests will act like that for the salvation of souls and not be worried about people not liking them. And I would encourage our brother priests, please, fathers, don't worry about have people like you. Worry more about the salvation of souls, because that's your role, is to get people to heaven. So I would encourage other priests to stand strong when it comes to teaching people the truth, even when it's difficult. One more thing about the gospel I think is really important.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then we'll get to Sheen and then to that thing. But here's what I want to say. The last words that you read, by your perseverance, you will secure your lives. Jess, when we get knocked down, I only have one question. Did you get up? And right now, folks, as your spiritual fitness trainers, we're here to tell you we're all going to fall. We all sin. I mean, there's nobody that doesn't sin unless you're the Blessed Mother. So when you sin and you fall, we're here to tell you, get up and persevere, because that's how you're going to make it to heaven. You're not going to make it to heaven by giving up, Jess. That's the message I got out of that gospel.
Protestants have an incomplete understanding of the gospel. They don't have the fullness of truth.
No, they don't have the sacraments.
And yet, oftentimes Protestants, in many instances, seem to do more. They outdo us with an incomplete revelation of the gospel. They outdo Catholics who have the fullness of truth. What do I mean by that? Terry, can you tell the people what this article says?
All right, folks, sit down. Are you ready? Mr. Franklin Graham, he says he's urging Roman Catholic Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York to take a stand regarding abortion by excommunicating the so-called Catholic Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, I know we're broadcasting in his neck of the woods right now. Mr. Cuomo, call us. We'd like to have a conversation with you about your position. Cardinal Dolan is afraid to move on this issue of excommunication because he thinks that it'll cut the dialogue off between the governor and him. Okay, and that it'll be no good. But you see, here's a Protestant. He says, wait a minute. If you don't, what's going to happen is the message, and there's still Catholics today that I meet that think abortion is okay in certain cases. It's all right.
Yeah, Terry, they're confused because when
no
Catholic
clarity. No clarity.
Because these Catholic politicians are getting away with it, and so a lot of lay Catholics say, well, Terry, Jess,
take a stand, man.
I guess it's okay because Pelosi, Biden, Cuomo. There's no repercussions, so I guess you can believe in abortion, Terry and Jesse.
Right. So the bottom line is General Graham, Billy Graham is asking the cardinal to make a stand on this and excommunicate him. If you don't think it's going to do any good, well, he says, hey, it's going to do a lot of good because it's going to make it clear that we believe that abortion is a moral evil, and everybody outside the governor and you are going to know that this is an evil, and so we won't do it. So my question would be, if the church loses its moral voice, then what's the use? It's about standing for right over wrong, good over evil. That sounds like our show, Jesse. That's what we do. This is not right versus left. It's right versus wrong, and abortion is wrong. So Dolan...
Yeah, this is not a political issue at all.
Right. Dolan has criticized Cuomo for his actions, but said he doesn't want the conflict to continue. You know what I say, Jesse? That is a cop-out. That's like saying earlier in the show we talked about when good people do nothing, evil abounds. That Archbishop Dolan has a moral obligation, and he's waiting for a bald-headed old man on California to tell him, do your duty. Actually, it's not Terry and Jesse. It's my faithful bride of 30-some years, Mary Danielle, who does the Bible with the Barbers. I love being on the air with you, Mary. You know why? Because I get to spend more time with you. That's why. And I love your smile, and I love your joy for the Lord. And I want to get your take on the inerrancy of Scripture. Before we do that, the topic comes up because of what Father James Martin, a Jesuit, and again, I love Father James Martin in the sense of I want to see him get to heaven. Mm-hmm. What I don't like about him is he's corrupting people's morals.
Yes, he is.
Okay, that's what I don't like about him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about why his superiors, the Jesuit order, aren't condemning him and making him do penance. Believe me, if I was in management, I would do this. As a matter of fact, I get to run Virgin Most Powerful. If somebody at Virgin Most Powerful starts dissenting from the church teachings, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fire them.
Right. We want what the church teaches.
Exactly, and I would hope our superiors would do the same. Why am I saying this? Because recently this week he put out a tweet. He says, where the Bible mentions same-sexual behavior, it's all clear. It clearly condemns it. You're right, Father James.
It clearly condemns it.
I freely grant that, he said. The issue is precisely whether the biblical judgment is correct. Is this microphone on, dude?
Whoa.
Give me a break. I'm sorry, Father, is this microphone on?
Is the biblical judgment correct?
Yeah. The biblical sanctions slavery as well as nowhere attacked it as unjust. Now, Mary Danielle, before I get your take, several bishops and cardinals are, thanks be to God, out of hundreds of them,
Good.
I got 2. I wish more would come out. But Bishop Sheen told us back in the 70s, I'm supposed to call you to your fidelity. And fidelity is to speak the truth in charity.
There you go.
How do we solve that problem? Well, I think we come up with some solutions, Jesse. It's called Virgin Most Powerful Radio about a year and a half ago. And we've been proclaiming the church. We say, the church teaches, we say we're not right versus left, we're right versus wrong. So we proclaim boldly the teachings of the church, and we're growing. And I want to thank our listeners, Jesse, because these monthly donors who come and support us have been tremendous in our growth factor. We're growing. We're building for the future. Why? Because the faith needs to be passed on. And I'm not saying we're the only one, but we're one of the few right now as lay organizations that not only tell you about the problems, but we give you the solutions, our 5 stones at every show. So if you want to continue to support us, and I hope you do, I give my cell number out. Every day I get people calling me, Jesse, that says, can you answer this question? Yes. I mean, it's Sunday morning. You're answering the phone. Yep. 10 o'clock at night. Yep. I'm answering the phone. You know why? I only got so many breaths of air, and I want to serve Christ in his church. And I thank you because without you, we couldn't be on the air.